There is a growing need for environmentally friendly food production methods as the global population rises. No one should be surprised by the phenomenal growth of aquaculture in recent years. By 2025, Chinese fish farmers will have harvested an incredible 79 million tons of fish, making the country a global leader in this industry. How did the Chinese aquaculture industry get so advanced? What are some of the difficulties faced by the Chinese aquaculture industry? What are the new techniques and technologies used in the Chinese aquaculture industry? Let's dive in. Fish ponds sparkle in the early light as the sun rises over the vast Chinese countryside. Farmers in signature blue overalls go to the ponds to check on their prized fish. The practice of rearing fish in China dates back to the Ming Dynasty. The rising local and worldwide demand for fish has led to a fast development of the business in recent years. More than 60% of the world's farmed fish is now produced in China, making it the country with the biggest fish farming industry. There is a wide variety of fish farms in China, from those maintained by local families to those that are run at an industrial size. Carp, tilapia, and catfish are the three most widely farmed freshwater fish species in China. These fish are well known for their resilience and rapid growth, making them ideal for the humid tropical environment. Fish are grown in enormous ponds that have been designed specifically to provide ideal circumstances for development. The fish are given a specially prepared diet, and the pond water is maintained clean and oxygenated so that the fish may grow healthily. The producers also make use of selective breeding and genetic engineering to boost the fish's productivity and resilience to illness. The Chinese government is deeply involved in the growth of the aquaculture sector. The government has historically subsidized and offered financial incentives to fish growers in an effort to expand the business. The government has instituted stringent restrictions to guarantee the fish are farmed in a sustainable and ecologically beneficial way. There are several positive outcomes for China as a result of the fish farming sector. It has increased the local supply of fish, which has improved the country's food security and generated employment and revenue for the rural populace. Along with this, China now earns a lot of money from selling fish across the world. There are, however, difficulties in the business sector. The potentially negative effect on the environment from the fish farms is a serious issue. The waste produced by such a dense population of fish has the potential to contaminate the water and harm the ecology around the ponds. Chemicals and antibiotics used to reduce illness rates may potentially have unintended consequences for ecosystems. In a new report, researchers analyzed the potential effects of factors including shifting consumer preferences, restrictive government laws, and environmental concerns on China's aquaculture business and the world's seafood supply. According to the report, experts suggest that by 2030, China would likely need an extra 6 to 18 million tons of seafood, which is an increase of 9 to 27% to fulfill expected domestic demand. The research reveals that in 2018, China accounted for 58% of worldwide aquaculture output. Finfish account for almost 90% of freshwater volumes, carp account for 64% of world freshwater fish, and tilapia account for 11% of global freshwater fish, which are also the two of the most common species. Unlike tilapia, which is predominantly farmed for export as a cheap substitute for other white fish, carp are mostly farmed for home consumption. The report highlights a variety of production challenges that match the declining demand for locally produced seafood through aquaculture. China's aquaculture industry is already heavily reliant on the production of mussels and seaweed. They're hindered in their growth not by feed, research, and development, but by rivalry for land and water with other enterprises. The stated goal to increase pollution control has the potential to reverse the current trend toward deteriorating coastal water quality. Expansion of aquaculture on land and along coastlines may be constrained by a lack of suitable space and a lack of access to fresh water and healthy conditions. Although large-scale systems have recently been installed, the experts argue that there are large uncertainties related to future development potential, such as the longevity of the technology, cost-effectiveness, access to feed resources, and in some areas, competition for space within the exclusive economic zone. They also point out in the last decade growth rates for both freshwater aquaculture and carp production slowed from 36 to 21% and 32 to 21% respectively, and that this production has been blamed for the increasingly severe pollution of inland and coastal waters, thereby limiting room for further development. There is reported severe coastal contamination, partly due to current mariculture, indicating limited opportunities for a major increase in nearshore production, and the 13th five-year plan indicates an obligatory aim of a 120,000 hectare decrease of coastal mariculture area by 2022. While experts agree that offshore mariculture is the most promising alternative, they also say that it is difficult to make predictions about this production mode because of high feed costs and a lack of testing of the technology in offshore areas. For these and other reasons, the experts argue that China will need to go elsewhere to fill the widening vacuum in the seafood market, including boosting seafood imports, expanding its remote ocean fishing business, and investing in aquaculture operations overseas. According to another report, China may change its role from that of a transit point for seafood en route to other markets to that of a final consumer. The growing middle class, rapid urbanization, and changing consumer preferences in China have all led to a rise in demand for seafood like salmon and whitefish. China is already facing tough competition from other major markets like the United States and the European Union. It's also possible that imports from other Asian nations might rise. Despite these difficulties, China's fish farming sector is expanding and improving. To lessen the negative effects of farms on the environment, new sustainable technologies and methods are being developed and put into operation. As the sun sets over China's fish farms, farmers can be seen gathered over laptops, going through articles on the industry's most recent technological developments. They are always looking for methods to boost productivity. The utilization of recirculating aquaculture systems is one of the most promising new developments in China's fish farming industry. The closed-loop water system used by such setups permits water recycling and limits waste outflow. The farmers also use biofilters to purify the water and prevent the growth of harmful organisms. In addition to reducing the negative effects of fish farms on the environment, this technique has been shown to speed up fish development and boost fish health. Indoor fish farming is another cutting-edge method now being adopted in China's fish farming industry. Farmers build massive climate-controlled fish tanks in which the fish may be raised safely and healthily. In order to provide the fish with a habitat as close as possible to their natural one, the tanks have been outfitted with sophisticated filtration systems and lighting. By using this technique, fish farmers are able to cultivate fish in climates where outdoor fish farming is not feasible, hence boosting the development rate and overall health of the fish. The Chinese aquaculture industry is also using genetic engineering and selective breeding to speed up fish development and increase their resilience to illness. Farmers use genetic engineering to raise fish with improved growth rates, illness resistance, and reproductive rates. The goal of selective breeding is to perpetuate good characteristics in future generations by breeding only the healthiest and most fertile fish. Along with this, the Chinese government is actively encouraging the growth of organic fish farming. Natural techniques of disease and parasite management are used in organic fish farming instead of pesticides and antibiotics. The technique not only reduces the negative effects of fish farms on the environment, but also results in fish that are more wholesome for human consumption. To boost productivity, Chinese fish farms are also becoming digital. Some farmers are keeping tabs on the oxygen levels, water temperatures, and other variables in their fish ponds with the help of sensors and monitoring systems. Fish producers utilize software to keep tabs on stock and monitor fish development. With the use of these innovations, fish farms can better control and nurture their fish populations. The experts and the farmers are both certain that fish farming in China has a bright future, and that they will be able to sustainably feed the country and the globe for decades to come with the assistance of new technology and methods.